Yo, what's poppin', people? My name is Tuck, and today, let's talk about the NBA playoffs for next year. I'm gonna give you my predictions for the playoffs from 8 to 1 for both Eastern and the Western conferences. Now, since we've seen the free agency madness has subsided and we've seen all these blockbuster moves and trades and whatnot, it's only right that we talk about, the potential outcome for, both conferences and where I think they're gonna stand, and also where y'all think they're gonna stand. Please please don't forget, leave a comment down below. Give me your thoughts, your predictions, of what you think is how you think the next year's NBA season is gonna turn out. But without further ado, man, let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, y'all. So at the eighth seed in the West Coast, we're gonna start off with the West Coast. I got at the eighth seed, I got San Antonio Spurs locking up that eighth seed. Now the reason why I got them at the eighth seed is number one, the West is crazy. The West just got a whole lot more. I wouldn't say, well, it did get stronger, but it did get more balanced. But let's talk about the Spurs, the roster. Their roster's still pretty intact. They got Rudy Gobert, picked up DeMar Carroll out of free agency, and they get DeJounte Murray back from a torn ACL from last year. So that's going to be huge for them. So you would think that they're probably going to do a little bit better, right? Well, I mean, when I look at the East, man, there's just too many, dynamic duos, and just, teams got so much stronger. Like the Jazz got so much stronger. Obviously, the Lakers got stronger. The Clippers got a lot stronger. So I don't really see them going any farther than that eighth seed, in my opinion. Still a well-built team. Still got Pop. They get Tim Duncan as their assistant coach, so that should be phenomenal for them. But with just the strength and the star power that's in the West, I can't see them. Really being that effective and making much of any impact. I think they're kind of be there. Kind of like how they were last year, but I think they'll be a little bit better. But they'll just be like they'll be there. They'll be there. But obviously they're a pop-led team. They know the playoffs. They do this. They do this every year. So I don't see them sliding out at the eighth spot next year. Let's move on to the seventh. All right, on to the seventh seed in the West. I got the Trailblazers, man. Portland Trailblazers. Now, they're kind of interesting to me because first off, it kind of seems like they lost a lot. They lost a lot in that four-way fiasco. I don't even think it was a trade with Philly and Miami and the Clippers. I think it was just they just dished out players to different teams. They lost Myers Leonard, which I think was going to be a great player for them, but they lost him. They lost Mo Harkless, and I don't know if they lost him, if he's a free agent, but Al-Farouq Amino, I don't see him on their roster at all, so I don't know where he's at. But I'm gonna go ahead and assume that they lost him too. They did gain Hassan Whiteside, who could be a good option. First off, a good replacement for Yusuf Nurkic as he recovers from that terrible leg injury that he suffered. But I don't know. He does have an opportunity for a fresh start. He's going to be with Dame and CJ, still a top 5 backcourt in my opinion, maybe even top 3. I love both of those players. They get Ken Bazemore to play Seth Curry, who's a decent shooter. I think he's a little bit more experienced in the league. He's still a good shooter, I think. But I think that's a decent replacement. And my big issue with Portland is their lack of wing players. Now they lose obviously Mo Harkless, Myers Leonard. Those dudes can kind of play the wing a little bit. Mo Harkless can, I know that. Myers Leonard, I don't know. And Al-Farouq Aminu, he could play the wing. I just don't know where he's at. But there's a really big gap in that three small forward spot, and they do have Nazir Little they drafted, but I don't know, he's only 19, so I don't know if he can fill that gap, how well he can fill that gap for them. They also have Mario Hezonja, but I mean, what has he proven really in his time? He played for Miami, then he went to New York for a little bit, but I don't what has he proven? His name really hasn't been out there like that, so I think they're going to have a lot of trouble guarding that, that 3-4 spot because there's just so many superstars that can get rotated in. They're gonna be up against a lot of powerhouses at that spot. So their team is still. I think their team got a downgrade. I'll give their team a downgrade. They're gonna be the 7th seed. They're gonna be struggling against a lot of superstar teams. So I'm gonna drop them right at the 7th seed. I think that's fair for them. All right, man. This one's kind of tough. I got the 6th seed, and I don't necessarily like this team. I like players on it, but I don't really like the team that much, I guess I should say. But the Warriors, the Golden State Warriors, I got them at the 6th seed, and it's weird because who bets against the Warriors, right? Not a lot of people really bet against the Warriors. I never really did. I did sometimes, but I was usually wrong. But man, first and foremost, they lost a lot of depth. They lost a lot of depth. I mean, Jordan Bell's gone. Obviously, Iguodala's gone. They did retain Kevon Looney. That's going to be huge for them. I don't know where Sean Livingston is. I think he's trying to play another year. And they picked up Willie Cauley-Stein to replace what's his name, DeMarcus Cousins. So I think that's a pretty good pickup. I don't know what he's going to do stretching the floor because Cousins was good at that. But and then obviously they lose KD, the big loss. So I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work. And now my biggest issue with this team is not even the depth. It's their backcourt. Now I have you got Steph and D'Lo, right? Clay's gonna come back probably late next season, coming off that torn ACL. So you got Steph and D'Lo. Their play styles are very, very similar, but I don't know how does Steve Kerr get both of them involved to where they're both using their maximum potential. I don't know. But I feel like it's going to have to be D'Lo taking that step back. And when he does take that step back, I don't know if that's not going to be better than, having Steph, Clay, or even Steph and KD. That's not going to be what it is because they're still got a gap in that 3 spot. As far as scoring goes and defensively too, and then on top of that, Clay comes back in the middle of the season. Then what? You have to work Clay into that rotation, and then Clay, D'Lo, and Steph have to get their chemistry. So it's kind of like a messy situation. Not messy, but it's just like it's a weird situation, and I just can't see. It's gonna be a lot of adjusting. It's just gonna slow them down. So. That's why I got them at the 6th seed, man. They're gonna start off real slow. All right, at the 5 seed in the West, I got the Houston Rockets. Now, y'all probably thinking that they should be a little higher than this, right? I mean, first off, they picked up Tyson Chandler and then obviously the Russell Westbrook for Chris Paul trade, right? Russell Westbrook, obviously the better player, right? So right there they get better. But, with that system, that D'Antoni system, shoot 'em up. I just don't like Russ in that system, man, because we all know Russ is a very, very streaky shooter. He can be a decent mid-range shooter. He's shown us that before, but last season was abysmal for him. He knows it. Everybody knows it. And I just it's like almost like taking an alcoholic to Beer Fest and telling them to just drink as much beer as you want. It's like it's gonna be a disaster. So I don't know. I don't like him in that system. I like him with James Harden, but unless he can take a step back and be more of a facilitator, and then D'Antoni can switch that system to be a more efficient efficient offense and defensive-minded defense. Well, defensive-minded team, and I don't really see it working out. Because you can't have Russell, you can't have James Harden, obviously the number 1 option, doing what he does on top of Russell Wilson wanting to get his dribbling, driving, and trying to pull up from mid-range on somebody's face. And then you have Eric Gordon sitting in the corner waiting for 3. He's got to be more of a facilitator if this is going to work on this team. That's my opinion. So I'm putting him at the 5. All right, the number 4 spot in the West is a very interesting spot. It's a very interesting team, the Jazz. The Jazz, man. Now, what were they, the 5th seed last year? I think the 5th or the 6th seed last year with the team that they have. Now, you still got Donovan Mitchell, you still got Gobert. You get rid of Ricky Rubio. You trade for Mike Conley. That's an upgrade. They pick up what's his name, Bojan Bogdanovic, excellent 3-point shooter. I saw his stats, excellent 3-point shooter, and he's a good defender. And you pick up Jeff Green, who come off the bench and score. This team is gonna have a year. This team is gonna be fun to watch. This is gonna be like one of my most anticipated teams to watch next year. So I'm putting them at the 4th spot. They're gonna be a great defensive team with Rudy Gobert, Bogdanovic, Mike Conley. Let's see if Donovan Mitchell can be a good defender at times. He's also gonna have an easier time scoring because he's gonna have that kick out option if he wants to drive with Bogdanovic. And Jeff Green, because Jeff Green can shoot 3 as well. Mainly, it's their defense. This is going to be probably, I predict, a top 2 defensive team in the league. That's what I'm predicting. And they're gonna have a year. This is their year. Donovan Mitchell is gonna go off. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be an MVP type season, but he's gonna go off. That's all I'm gonna say. So Utah Jazz, 4th seed. That's it. On to the 3 seed. All right, man. Here we are, 3 seed in the West, and you know I gotta go with my Lakers, my Los Angeles Lakers. Now look. We missed out on Kawhi. Obviously, but we did a fantastic job filling out the rest of the roster, filling out the rest of the roster. Okay. Just like last year, this team has got high expectations. AD, LeBron, Kuzma, Avery Bradley, Rondo, JaVale McGee. It's a solid looking squad, just like it was last year with all the young players, and it was like a mix of young and old players. A lot of championship experience, and then you have young talent that can go out there and produce. I think it's gonna be different this year though, just because you got less young players, you got a lot more experience, you got a lot more. I would say stable minds. I would say, last year we had the young guys. They kind of went through it, I guess you could say, with all the trauma. You got guys that I think can handle that this year. So, one thing I will say is it's gonna take a little bit of time for this supporting cast to get their bearings, get their wheels touching the concrete. And get all on the same page. I already believe that LeBron and AD are best friends right now. If you see him on Instagram, he's inviting them to his house and all. You see them, they're always good. They like best friends. So I'm not worried about their chemistry. I'm worried about everybody else around them and getting comfortable with each other and those two as well. So that's going to be the challenge. That's going to be the big challenge. Also, the other challenge is going to be DeMarcus Cousins and Kyle Kuzma kind of finding their role. We know D Cuz can be a 20-something and 11 player because that's what I think that's his averages. Actually, I'm not really sure. I'm not even gonna look it up. But Kyle Kuzma, and he's gonna have to produce something, find his role, whether it be back to his old ways or just being a solid option, or maybe just being somebody who can come off the bench, And Kuzma's got to find that mentality where he can be, the third option, and be able to take away defenses from AD and LeBron. So we'll see. It's gonna be very interesting. I'm gonna be watching every single game. Well, I'm gonna be watching as many games as I possibly can. But yeah, man, Lakers 3 seed. Let's go on to the 2. All right, the 2 seed for me is an easy one. I got Denver. Got the Denver Nuggets at the 2 seed now. They've been doing everything right. They haven't lost anybody. They picked up a great pick. They picked up a great pickup in Jeremiah Grant from OKC for some picks. That's going to be great for them off the bench. He's going to be one of their shooters. He's going to be an option on defense. I just really like that pickup. They've gained a lot of experience from last year. They were the number 1 seed? Were they the number 1 seed? No, they were the number 2 seed. They were the number 2 seed last year. And, they made a run in the playoffs, almost made it to the Western Conference Finals, almost by 1 game. Portland got them in that last game. But they have accumulated a lot of experience. I think they're going to come to this next season ready, focused, with a little chip on their shoulder. And, I like the team. I like the team Jokic. I like Jamal Murray being that closer for them. And what I'm most excited about this team, honestly, I want to see if Michael Porter Jr. can find a role. Whether it be a starter or off the bench, a six-man, whatever. I just want to see if he can get some playing time and show off and show that he can still play ball. We know he can play ball, but we just know we need to figure out if he can stay healthy. And I'm hoping and praying that he can. But that's my number 2 seed, man. I got Denver at the 2. Let's go ahead to the top. Let's go ahead and move on to the top spot in the West. All right, you can probably guess who my number 1 seed is by now, and it pains me to say it, but it's gonna have to be the Los Angeles Clippers, the old 7 seed from last year. And yeah, man, I mean, what else can you say, really? Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, they only had to give up Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Gallinari and a bunch of picks, but they're pretty much set up for the next 2 or 3 years to, they're set up pretty much for a championship. As long as they keep everything together, obviously, and people stay healthy. But yeah, I just don't. First off, the chemistry was already there with the team. They only had to lose. Like I said, those 2 players. They still kept a lot of their role players from last year. They still have like the 6th man of the year in Lou Will, who can go out there and get 30 off the bench easily. Plus, you got scorers. Paul George and Kawhi can get 25. And then you got Pat Bev, who can lock down any defender, literally any defender, any player on the other side of the team, on the other side of the court. You can go out there and lock anybody down. And then you have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, who are also excellent defenders. So this is probably going to be this team and the Jazz are probably going to be the 2 best defensive teams next year. Just on paper, a lot of young stars, a lot of young talent, coupled with championship experience and big game experience, and also a championship coach in Doc Rivers. That organization is taking a turn. I remember when they used to cover up they used to I used to hear old players not really complaining, but they're just giving their experience, just talking about how it would feel like a Lakers, like if it was a Clippers home game, it would feel like a Lakers game, because you just see all of the Lakers stuff just hanging everywhere, the banners, the trophies everywhere. But now they cover all of that stuff up and they put their own banners, and it's just like the culture's changed. So this team is taking a turn for the better, and it's going to be interesting to see them. It's going to be very interesting to see. So it hurt to say that, but I'm gonna give them their credit. I'm gonna put them at the number 1 spot. Let's go ahead and move on to the East Coast, baby. East Coast, Beast Coast. All right, on to the East Coast, Beast Coast. I got the Raptors at the 8th seed. That's about as high as I can give them, seeing the East now and how much more powerful it's gotten and how strong really it already was. First off, they lose Kawhi, obviously. I still like Nick Nurse as a head coach. I think he's a great coach. I think he's going to be a great coach in the future. Like one of the legendary coaches for this league. Actually, I think that's going to be him. Kyle Lowry is, I think he's going to have he's not a breakout year, but he's finally broken out of that slump where he's like, okay, he chokes in the playoffs. So I think he's going to have a lot more confidence. Pascal looks to be the number 1 option. I don't know how I feel about that. He's got to work on that shot, I believe. I feel like if he can work on that shot, he can open up a lot more for himself. We already know he can dribble, drive, get to the hoop. They get OG back from injury. Marc Gasol, that he re-signs with them, and I like that pickup too. Marc Gasol is, if Marc Gasol, honestly, let's just say this: if Marc Gasol didn't re-sign, I would have them out of the playoffs. That's a big piece for them. But that's about as high as I can give the Raptors. Seeing the East now and how much more powerful it's gotten. So that's all I got to say about that. Let's go ahead and go on to the 7th. Okay, on to the 7th seed. This is another team that I think is going to be fun to watch next year. The Miami Heat, number 7 seed in the playoffs. Pick up Jimmy Butler, pick up a nice closer. I love that pickup for them. They still got Goran Dragic. I thought he got traded, but turns out he stuck around. They didn't include him in that trade. I think it was Dallas or whatever. They didn't include him in that trade. They draft Tyler Herro, who looks really good. Really good in the summer league, so we'll see how that turns out. They still got some stretch bigs. They picked up Myers Leonard, who can stretch the floor. They still got Olynyk, who can stretch the floor. They got Dunkman Derrick Jones, who can put up some highlight plays. And Eric Spoelstra obviously is a championship coach. He knows what he's doing. I didn't have a lot of faith of him because I thought he was just a LeBron-led coach in his days when they was winning them championships. But he's actually a really good coach. I've seen for the past years. He's a really good coach. So this is going to be one of the fun teams to watch. Miami slides into that playoff spot. They knock Orlando out. I don't think Orlando got the juice this year. Yeah, that's it right there. Moving on to the number 6. All right, 6th seed in the East. 6th seed in the East. I got Detroit, man. Detroit Pistons. Now, I would guess a lot of people would probably have Miami as a better team than the Pistons, but I really like this team. I like what they put together. I like the big man Andre Drummond. I like the Derrick Rose pickup. I think he has a phenomenal year. I'm not saying like MVP type like his old self, but I'm saying he has a phenomenal year. Probably like 17, 18 points a game. Not Jimmy. I was about to say Jimmy Butler. Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin is. I didn't hate him. I used to hate on him because I thought all he was a jump man. And he was for the first like half of his career. He was just a jump man, just a dunk man. He didn't have no other moves. But he's really expanded his game. He can shoot the three. He can dribble. He can cross people up. He's got post game. He's really upped his game since he's been in Detroit, and I really like the progression. Hopefully his knees can stay healthy. He can get a lot more playing time. He's probably gonna be on that what's that called? Thing that Kawhi made up. Damn, what's it called? I forget what it's called. It's when he only played 60 games last year. He was resting a lot, pretty much is what I'm saying. They're probably gonna have Blake Griffin on that same thing. The Markieff Morris pickup too is pretty good for them. He can shoot three, he can play defense, and I like Sibby Mikhailiuk. I know I'm a little biased because the Lakers drafted him and we traded him, and I really like the kid. But he's like a 6'7" sniper, and I think he can play some decent defense. I think he's gonna come into his own a little bit next year. He's gonna find a role on that team. So that's where I got the Pistons, man. The big physical, and they can shoot three, and they got a point guard. So I like that team. At the 6-5. Let's move on to the 5. All right, 5 seed. I got the Brooklyn Nets with no KD. Obviously, KD's gonna miss the whole next year. But first and foremost, the D'Lo Kyrie swap. Kyrie's obviously the better player, but in my opinion, D'Lo had the chemistry. Not even my opinion, it's a fact. D'Lo had the chemistry with that team. It was his team. They played for him. They loved him. Even after his whole debacle with the Lakers. And it's just there's something to be said about it, like team chemistry over star power. I think that matters. It matters a lot. So I don't know about Kyrie. Kenny Atkinson got to keep him out of diva mode and got to keep him in tune with that locker room, because if he does the same thing he did in Boston, it's just gonna be another one of them disasters where they were supposed to be better than what they actually are. So also they get DeAndre Jordan hitting that squad. So that's an upgrade for them. That's a little upgrade. He's a little bit bigger than what's his name? Josh Allen? I think his name is Josh Allen. Dude with the fro. He's a little bit bigger than him, so he can kind of take that rim protector role on a little bit better than him. But we'll see. I think they'll lock up that 5 spot though, because Kyrie is top 3, top 4 point guard in the league. I think he will ball out. I think hopefully he's learned from last year that he can't just be a diva and say whatever and just be like just acting any type of way to his teammates, because it matters. So we'll see if he matures. That's all I got to say about them. 5 spot Brooklyn Nets. Let's go on to the number 4. Okay, the 4th seed. Looking like a Milwaukee must be a Bucks fan. Milwaukee Bucks at the 4. What can I say about this team? Well, this is kind of a big drop from being the best team in the league last year. But I think Toronto did something in the playoffs last year. And I don't know if it was just a playoff thing, but I think teams are going to pick up on how they guarded Giannis and how they stopped Giannis from doing what he does. And he's still going to be a force. I don't think he's going to be as effective. I think he's going to need a little bit more help from his supporting cast, like the shooters in Middleton, Eric Bledsoe, and I think they kind of exposed him a little bit. So if Giannis, I'll say this, and we've seen him. If you've seen the reports, he's working with Kyle Korver on that shooting. So if he can get that shooting together, then it won't matter because he'll be able to have another option of scoring. besides dribble driving. So they picked up Wesley Matthews. That's a good pickup. I think he can shoot three. He can play some defense. I like him. I like him. Couple Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton, I keep forgetting he's a small forward. He looks like a 2, but he's a 3. Yeah, I always think he's a 2 though. I don't know, but yeah, I like Eric Bledsoe, Wesley Matthews, Middleton, Giannis, and then Brook Lopez. That's a pretty solid lineup. I do think that they get worse though, just because blueprint. Obviously, I think there's a little bit of a blueprint for Giannis, and also where's their closer? Who's their closer? If it's not going to be Giannis, if Giannis doesn't get a shot, who's their closer? Is it Middleton? Is it Wesley Matthews? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. Oh yeah, and they also picked up Greek Freaks. Was it his brother? Because he's got 2 brothers. You got Kostas that the Lakers signed, and then he's got another one, Thanis or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, so we'll see how that works. And then obviously Brook Lopez has Robin Lopez with him now. So they did make some pickups. I don't know. I just don't think they got that much better. And on top of that, like I said, where's the closer? And then the blueprint for Giannis has been mapped out. So we'll see how they react to it. But that's it. That's all I got to say about that. I'm rambling. Let me go ahead and move on to the 3 seed. All right, 3 seed in the East. 3 seed in the East. Boston. The Boston Celtics. I like them here. They get rid of Kyrie. They get Kemba. It's a downgrade in skills, slight downgrade, because Kemba is pretty much a poor man's Kyrie, but it's just a huge upgrade for that locker room. Like I said, there's something to be said about chemistry in the locker room, people respecting each other as players and as people. So I think Kemba's going to earn those young players' respects, and they're going to play really well. Brad Stevens, already has experience of, having a team, pretty much having a team that didn't have Kyrie, and taking them to get, what was it, Game 7 in the East, almost going to the finals with that team. So add Kemba Walker, a guy who would fit in, a guy who has a good personality, is a known good locker room guy, and he can go out there and ball and do everything that Kyrie can do. So add that in there. I think Gordon Hayward's gonna have a better season. He's got a whole season under his belt after that ankle injury. Jason Tatum has a chance to become the closer that he always wanted to be. Now that Kyrie's gone, ball hogging, 2 minutes left in the fourth, so he has that chance. Yeah, I think this is going to be a strong year for these young players, and Brad Stevens is going to have a lot to be thankful for now that Kyrie's gone. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Celtics 3 seed. Go ahead and go on to the 2. Oh, and I forgot that they picked up Enes Kanter as well, so I think that's a good pickup. And they lost Al Horford. Let me not forget about that. So they lost Al Horford to pick up Enes Kanter. It's gonna hurt. Yeah, that's a big loss for them because Al Horford was kind of that glue. Not really. Yeah, he was kind of that glue, and he was kind of that well-respected vet on that team. So Enes Kanter is not going to be able to fill that role really. That's probably the reason. That's the reason why I would say that they'll be 3 seed as opposed to like the 2 or the 1, just because of that. They lost Al Horford, but regardless, it's still a good team, still a well-coached team. Still going to be up there in the East as a force. Yeah, let's move on now. Move on to the 2 seed. All right, y'all. My number 2 seed in the East is my hot take for next year. My hot take. If you've been paying attention, you kind of noticed that I haven't really mentioned a certain team that probably should be a little bit lower, but I got them here just because I like this team. The Indiana Pacers as a 2 seed. Now, yeah, that's my hot take. It's a little out there, but it's not the best team. It's not the best team on paper, but I still really like this team. I like how they're coached. Obviously, let's start off with the loss. They lost Bojan Bogdanovic to the Jazz. He's a great defender, excellent 3-point shooter. But I don't know. I don't know what it is about this team that's got me kind of polarized. I call him Home Depot, but Oladipo he's going to be out until they say December or something like that. So who knows about that? But I think until then, I think they can stay afloat with Jeremy Lamb, Michael Brogdon, Miles Turner. Who else did they pick up? They got somebody else. I know it. Hold on one sec. Yeah, T.J. Warren was the other person, and they also got keep Sabonis. Did they pick him up or did he was there last year? Yeah, they got Sabonis. Doug McBuckets is still there. They picked up TJ McConnell, who's a solid option off the bench. So I don't know. There's something about this team that's got me. I really like this team. And, I say they stay afloat. First half of the season, Home Depot comes back. He gets his bearings. He gets back into game shape, and they make a run late, and they lock up that 2 seed. It'll probably have to do with some, other teams. Obviously, gonna have to do with other teams losing, and whatnot. But I like this team. This is where I'm gonna put them. That's it. That's where I'm gonna put them. Don't judge me, because I don't really care. All right, on to the 1 seed. All right, finally to the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. If you've been paying attention, it's pretty obvious. I got the 76ers here. Philadelphia 76ers at the 1 seed, top spot in the East. I think I got them. Actually, I want to predict them to have the best record next year, but let me not say that because the West is crazy. Anyways, they're the best team. They're going to be the best team in the East Conference next year. Still, to my opinion, the best starting lineup in the East. They still got some depth there. They got the re-signing of Tobias Harris. They gave him a lot of money, but he's still a solid player. I don't know if he's worth $180 million, but he's a decent player, and he can do it on both ends too. They pick up Al Horford. That's gonna be big because imagine that rotation with Al Horford and Joel Embiid. Now Al Horford could put 5, take some load off of Joel Embiid, be effective. Joel Embiid come in fresh with them legs, or whatever he's going through. He's always sick or he got knee problems. But he can come in fresh and, do his thing. Don't have to worry about his conditioning as much. Well, I mean, obviously still worry about your conditioning, but, he's going to be he's going to be a lot. He's going to have a load taken off of him. They still got some depth with James Ennis and Mike Scott off the bench. They lost Jimmy Butler, but I think, what's his name? Josh Richardson? Josh Richardson fills that role. I think he fills that role okay. Because he's kind of like a Jimmy Butler, just a little like a downgraded version. Yeah, I like Jay Rich. I really don't see a team in the East that can kind of compete with them as far as them just winning games, flat out just winning games. And let's also talk about Ben Simmons. Now he got the max this year. Signed the max contract, but I don't know. I don't know about Ben Simmons. He's got to get that shot down. He's got to start learning how to take some shots from, 3, from mid-range, something. He's got to find a posting. He's got to find something that's just not dribble drive and layup, dunk, or draw a foul or kick out. He's got to find something else because, he's a liability. You can't. I mean, nowadays we're in a day and age where it's not the 90s anymore. Your point guard's got to score some points. You can't just go out there. Your point guard just can't go out there and drop 8 points and you expect to win. You need to have some type of perimeter play offensively from your guards. I would love to see Joel Embiid go out there and drop 40 every night and just lead the team, but I don't think it's possible. Not in today's league. So, yeah. But despite all of that, honestly, I just talked a whole bunch of stuff about Ben Simmons, but despite all of that, I still have them as the number 1 seed because at the end of the day, they're still the best built roster. Ben Simmons is decent. He's good defensively and he's tall, so he's gonna be a force defensively, guarding smaller guards down there. But yeah, that's where I have them. I have them in the number 1 spot. All right, y'all. That's it. That's my predictions for the upcoming NBA season. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Like I said in the beginning, make sure you leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know your predictions, your thoughts and opinions. And make sure you like the video. And if you rocking with it, subscribe. Go ahead. I'm gonna be trying to drop a lot more videos. I'm gonna try to get on my grind with this YouTube thing. So you know what I'm saying? If you like it, go ahead and subscribe. But with that, that's all I got for y'all boys today. And I'm out, man. Deuces.